The purpose of this video is to show you how to insert an Activex control. Activex is a useful device, especially when you want to use your interface. Before we start, make sure that you have the developer ribbon available. Now the developer ribbon, if it is not in your set of ribbons, can be created by going into your File Options, go to your Customize ribbon, and make sure the developer is checked. It depends really how Excel was installed in your computer as to whether it is checked or not. So go ahead and check it, make sure we have the developer ribbon. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be designing something. We're going to insert, and now we're going to insert an Activex control. You'll notice there are form controls and Activex controls available. What you want to do is use an Activex control. They're a little more flexible than the form controls. So we're going ahead and we're going to select that, and we're going to put it in our spreadsheet. So we've just placed it there very plainly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up the properties of that, and that's the important element here. I'm going to have the link cell as being B4. So here we have B4 as the link cell, and I'm going to have the maximum being, I'll just pick a number here, 100, and the minimum being, say, 1. Now you'll notice you can't do negatives and you cannot do decimal places for min and max, but we'll finesse that if we want to use decimal places. I'll show you in a moment. So what we have is a target cell B4, which means the result of the scrolling will go into B4. Now we do have the capability of changing the colors, the back color and the fore color of these scroll bars, but I'm just going to leave it at the default for right now. Now as long as we're in design mode, that is, design mode is lit up, we really can't do anything with this scroll bar. We can move it around, but we cannot use it as a scroll as yet. So what I'm going to do is get out of design mode and show you what happens. When we scroll along here, that target cell of B4, contents change as a result of the scrolling. So now what happens if we want instead an interest rate instead of a whole number? In that case, what we do is use a helper cell. What I'm going to do is go back into design mode, go to properties. I'm going to click on the scroll bar, go into properties, and instead of linking to B4, I'm going to link to what I call a helper cell. A helper cell is one that the user really isn't aware of that's there, and I'm going to put it in C4, which is actually underneath the scroll bar. Another way to do it is to have it off the screen, say at ZZ4 or something like that. But I'm going to have it in C4, which means it's going to be overlapped by the scroll bar. But that's okay. I just need to know where it is. Okay. So then we get out of design mode, and it's in C4. How do we know it's in C4? We go ahead and move that, and it's going to be in C4. Well, what are we going to do with that? What we're going to do is we're going to put the scroll bar right on top of it, and B4, what we want to be our interest rate, is actually going to be C4 divided by 100. So as we change this, we can scroll and get different values that are decimal places. So if this was an interest rate, then this would be changing along here. Of course, we wouldn't want interest rates up to 100%, but you get the idea. So that's all there is to it. So the steps are, make sure you have a developer ribbon. Once you have a developer ribbon, you'll insert an Activex control. You're going to position that control by just dragging your cursor. Click and drag your cursor. And you're going to adjust when you're in design mode and you point to the object. You can adjust the properties of the object. In this case, the linked cell, that is where the result of the scrolling goes. You can control the minimum and maximum. You can control the height and width of the actual scroll bar. You can control the color of the scroll bar. You can control what a small change would be, that if somebody clicks on the arrows, what the small change would be in the scroll bar. You can control the large change. So if somebody takes and moves the cursor along, do you want it to increment by 1 each time, or do you want it incrementing a little faster? So there are a lot of things you can do to fancy this up, but right now this will just give you an idea of how to insert the Activex control. And it won't operate, remember, if you're in design mode. So you get out of the design mode and then you can operate this.